allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call.
Roll call. Roland Lynch.
Yep.
Dolores Schlicker.
Yes.
Stan Weinhardt.
Here.
Leroy Perrin.
Here.
Robert Turek here.
Approval of the agenda.
I make a motion, we approve the agenda as it stands.
Second. And approved. Motion made. Seconded. Any discussions?
I'm sorry, but we can't hear back here.
Any discussions?
Thank you.
Okay, new business. The approval of the agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Any nays? Okay, new business, ACCO organization, structure.
Please.
I would like to make a motion that we, I nominate Leroy Perrin as our new president.
Second? I can't see it.
Yeah.
Okay, second.
Who's second?
Brown.
Any discussions?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thanks, sir.
Want to change seats?
Nope. Got your name there.
We can change those too.
That's fine. Okay, next we have opening for, vice president.
I would make a motion to nominate Dolores Schlicker as vice president.
Second?
Any other nominations?
Roland second.
Yep. Okay, take the vote. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, seeing none opposed. Joe Schlicker is now vice president.
Thank you.
Let's see, taking nominations for secretary.
I would like to nominate Dr. Turek as secretary.
I'll second it.
Stan.
Stan said yes. Okay, any other nominations? Hearing no other nominations, all in favor of, Dr. Turek as, secretary, say aye.
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 Any opposed? So moved. Okay, next would be, what do we have here, for, treasurer, nominations for treasurer.
I would like to nominate Roland, being he's already our treasurer.
I said it'd be a good idea.
I'll second it.
Okay, any other nominations? Hearing no others, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That's so be. Roland, you are treasurer still.
Thank you.
Okay. Next order of business with, Dr. Turek, do you have something to say that, hiring of an attorney?
I make a motion that we authorize the president to hire an attorney.
Second?
Okay, been first and seconded, any discussion? Okay, hearing no, discussion, take a vote, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, next order of business, just like to make a statement on behalf of the board. Everybody knows we are here under, should we say, dire circumstances, a little bit different. Okay, as it is right now, we are reorganizing. The board is here to help whatever we can. We're moving on. Some have asked about the building project. That's going ahead full steam. We're not slowing down on that. The staff is doing a great job keeping everything going. We haven't missed a beat. And I just want to applaud the staff and those that have been here to help. And about the only other comment I can make is if there's anything we can do for you, thing we can help, just we want to hear from you. So after that, we'll open up for public comment. Limit 2 minutes. Please give your name and where you're from. Sir.
My name's Robert Meske, and I'm a resident of Mankato Township, and I'm confused about what the building project is, and maybe someone can sort of summarize it for me.
I'm afraid at this time we're only open for comments. I will say though, if you want to stick around later and ask questions, that would be fine. Excuse me, Deputy Mr. Avery is not supposed to be here in the building.
Your best interest, sir.
What's that?
Well, I've been told that he's been suspended, he's not supposed, I'm not gonna arrest you, sir.
No, I'm asking.
We're not gonna play this.
It's not a
Josh,
game.
there's
It's not a
no
game.
policy,
There's no
you cannot
policy.
prove
This is
him
a
to the
public
building
meeting.
without
This
you
is
guys
open
being
to the
told.
public. I have the right to speak in public comment, so if you're gonna take me, you must take me out of handcuffs. Thank you.
Wanna get on your
My
knees too?
employer,
Mr.
Justin
Avery,
Wilson,
grow
has
up,
said
young
that this is a
man.
direct violation of the law.
I'm just asking you nicely to leave.
I'm just saying.
So they don't want you here, so.
I'm telling you, the only way I will walk out with you is in handcuffs. That's the way I said I will comply, but I will comply in handcuffs. That means I'll be arrested for trespassing. So that's the way.
We're gonna recess this meeting
make
for
a
the next
motion to
10
recess.
minutes.
I'll second it.
You guys take
His
a
kids
thing
are here, do you wanna make sure they see it too?
All those in favor of recess, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Directors, a decision to suspend my employment and my position as executive director. Per the policies of ACCOA, I have not been given a formal notice of suspension, and an employee can only be suspended for up to 1 day to 3 weeks, not an indeterminate amount of time. Furthermore, it has been established that the board of directors has displayed a bias towards me as the executive director. Therefore, I formally request an independent review of my job performance, my body of work composition, grievances, and their board accusations. This review should have all evidence presented, not hearsay, and produced for this formal review. I also request that this independent review team be the ACCOA County Board of Commissioners. Hello?
We've been
Hello?
asking for that for 3 months.
You've been asking for it, so let's do it. So, this group has the knowledge of ACCOA and a fiduciary understanding of the Commission on Aging. If it is found that the Board of Directors did not have cause to terminate, suspend, or violate the employment agreement with Lenny Avery, I hereby request that this board be dissolved and a new Board of Directors is formed with the help and support of the ACCOA County Board of Commissioners, Lenny Avery, still Executive Director of ACCOA County Commission on Aging.
Yeah, he says former in the beginning of the letter and then still in the end. We're in recess, by the way, everybody. Hi, we're in recess for 10 minutes. That's why the video kind of cut out. So, just so everybody can kind of see. Yep, if you don't want to be seen, go ahead and hide yourself. That's cool. So there's plenty of people here.
$60,000 to build a senior center. He never took it to the board. There was never even a discussion. He hired a company.
All right, I think that's it for the recess chatter, maybe.
Do you have a letter from your attorney?
Yes.
We explained it to you. He's allowed to be here as a taxpayer of this county.
Still in recess, just so you guys know on the video, but the recessed amount, which was 10 minutes, is almost up, so they should be starting soon.
Okay, meeting come to order, recess over. We will continue with public comments. 2 minutes, if you would give your name and township or wherever you live. Sir.
My name is Wilbur Weber, Mankato Township, and I would like Mr. Avery to read his statement again, seeing that the camera was turned off when he read the statement. I would like it to be part of the meeting, just for procedural effects. Thank you.
Next. You have 2 minutes, sir?
Yep. Lenny Avery, Executive Director of Oconee County Commission on Aging. I, Lenny Avery, former Executive Director of Oconee County Commission on Aging, hereby reject the Board of Directors' decision to suspend my employment and my position as Executive Director. Per the policies of ACCOA, I have not been given formal notice of my suspension, and an employee can only be suspended for up to 1 day to 3 weeks and not an indeterminate amount of time. Furthermore, it has been established that the Board of Directors has displayed a bias towards me, the Executive Director. Therefore, I formally request an independent review of my job performance, my body of work composition, grievances that I've brought to the board, and your board accusation. This review should have all evidence presented, not hearsay, produced for formal review. I also request that an independent review team be the Oconee County Board of Commissioners. This group has knowledge of ACCOA and a fiduciary understanding of the Commission on Aging. If it is found that the Board of Directors did not have cause to terminate, suspend, or violate the employment agreement with Lenny Avery, it is hereby requested that this board be dissolved and a new Board of Directors is formed with the help of the support of the Board of Commissioners. Lenny Avery, Executive Director of the Oconee County Commission on Aging. I will publicly again, can I approach and give this to you?
I have my copy, sir.
Okay, good, you have a copy. So with my remaining time, I will also tell you.
You're over 2 minutes.
It's over. Please, they're taking away from my time. With my remaining time, I will say that the breach of HIPAA violations that came from this board yesterday by allowing community members to access client files, client data, and client records is criminal. You could be punished up to $50,000 per breach. We have over 300 active clients and 300 inactive clients. And in less than 24 hours, you have fined ACCOA more than $6 million.
Thank you. Anyone next?
Patty Thomas, Harrisville Township. I'd first like to ask where the microphones are. We had a lot of difficulty in the meeting on Tuesday, hearing at the back of the room. Once again today, that's a problem. I also have concern about the lack of minutes from the meeting on Tuesday. I believe that you are required by Michigan law to produce meeting minutes. And then the final concern I have is, I'm not sure how you get to vote on hiring an attorney for the board, I assume, without explaining to the public who are attending this meeting what this attorney is being hired to do or represent the board for. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, please.
Jacqueline Schwan, City of Harrisville. I would like to formally request why Pam Ashford is not sitting up with you. According to her letter of resignation states that her last day is February 10th. I want to know if she was called and informed of this meeting, and I would also like to know where is her seat if she is not there. Was she included on roll call? And if not, was she excused from this special meeting? Thank you.
She walked in.
Next, sir.
Hi, I'm Ty Damon from Harrisville Township. At the last meeting, the board asked Leroy, as head of the building committee, to come back to them at their February meeting with a plan that fits within the 12.5, includes a senior center and, you know, as much senior housing and other amenities as you can afford. I'm gonna take you at your word that you're honorably working on that, and I would ask that at some point between now and February 2nd, that you hold a little workshop, invite the public, and let them take a peek at it, so you guys aren't discussing approving it or not approving it at the meeting and nobody's been able to see it. Secondly, I know that your bylaws allow the board to fill vacant positions on a basis to fill the term, unexpired term of the people who are no longer on the board. I think when those were written, that probably assumed that that was gonna happen one time, one person will fill it. With 44% of the board missing, I believe it is inarguably in the best interest of the members and the citizens that this be put a notice in the paper, that you get resumes, that you form a nominations committee, and you make the best effort in the most public way possible to fill those positions with the best candidates. Thank you.
I'll respond to that. Ad has gone in the paper for the next 4 weeks. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Pam McKinnon, Lincoln Spruce. I sat through the meeting. Jacqueline, to address your question, Pam Ashford walked out on this slip. Pam Ashford dismissed herself and walked out. If she was planning on being in the board, she should have continued the meeting, whether she liked what she heard or whether she didn't. If she didn't want to vote a certain way, she should have said no. She should not have gotten up and walked out on us. Nor should Will St. John have gotten up and walked out on us. They both failed the community. They failed this board. They failed all of us. And thank God for the help that was here yesterday and did their job, even after in the meeting you said, sir, that you were leaving and taking your staff with you. The 4th paragraph in the Alpena News said you requested they stay. Baloney. It's on video and I can't wait until it comes out.
Gary Brook, Mitchell Township. I am struggling with the transparency of this. When I was with the group and we asked for a FOIA, the information came out just at the end of the period, never talked to, and all of a sudden, magically on the site appeared all the requirements of the FOIA. That's my first complaint, the way this was being handled. The second thing that bothered me was when the director was come out and put down the rules for public comment, because it never used to be 2 minutes. I used to serve on this board as a liaison. It was a 3-minute public comment. There was no restrictions. And that was done independently by one person because the board is supposed to vote on the restrictions on public comment. So with all due respect, I think you people have some investigating to do, and I will be happy to fill you in with any information you may need, hence going forth.
Thank you. Next. Yes.
Ellen Fritz, City of Harrisville. I would like to point out that the people who stepped and resigned off the board on Tuesday did so because they knew that you were going to attempt to fire Lenny Avery, and they did not want to be liable for breaking the law. So they did to protect their own interests, not just the interest of ACCOA, but they could not in good conscience participate in that. And Pam Ashford, per her letter, is still a member of the board till the date in her letter. And you have to make a space for her. And you have to invite her to the board meetings.
Thank you. Oh, I'm
It was
sorry.
publicly
Yes.
posted. No, it is. Wait until the whole truth
Good
comes out.
afternoon, Margaret Sarah, Haynes Township. I don't know what to say. This is such a disaster. These papers that I brought to you yesterday about people who support the $12.5 million building project for our county was found on the floor. And I'm concerned, like, is this what you're about? Do you not care about all the people in Alcona County, or is it just those people behind us today? I hope that now that you're here, you'll understand the role that you've accepted to take. It's about confidentiality, it's about ethics, and it's about all the people in this county. So once again, I would like to give you a copy of all the people who support the project and hope that you will work in earnest, legally and ethically for the county of Alcona. Stop this nonsense that's going on behind me. Move forward, do what is right. I know it's in there. I've seen it in the past from all of you. Please, stop this, move forward, do it appropriately by the law, by the letter of your commitment to Alcona County. This is becoming a horrible event. I know you can do this, please. So I would like to resubmit these letters in support of you.
Yes.
May I?
Yes. Go ahead.
Ma'am, Roland Lynch, and if you found this on the floor, I'm deeply sorry that it happened. And the only thing that I can think of is that whoever had them, they might have dropped them and didn't know it.
Well,
That's the
Roland,
only, that's the only
Thank you.
thing that I can, but
thank,
for whoever, dropped them and that, I'm deeply sorry about it.
but ladies and gentlemen, please, act like ladies and gentlemen. We're not gonna solve anything here today by, having some kind of group stand up and want that to be your agenda. Your agenda is one thing. The Commission on Aging, please.
Thank you. Your time is up. I will gladly select those. And thank you very much. Okay, next.
Karen Charbonneau from Lincoln. First of all, I thank God for every one of you who have answered a prayer. You know that what we want in Alcona County is a senior center, not a community, not housing. Either redo this place or give us a new senior center. And I'm gonna be praying for you every day until you get this resolved. You may have to let everything go that's been done in the past and start new, but no, rest assured, the majority of seniors, not the ones that are receiving food and medical and what have you, Alcona County citizens, if you could only take a vote on the seniors, you would know. We appreciate your hard work and we know you're gonna get us a senior center, and I thank God for you.
Anyone else?
My name is Shelley Vanuk. I'm a resident of Mitchell Township, and I'm an occupational therapist for 38 years, and I have worked in this area for 17 years. And the one thing for the Alcona Council on Aging, I'm part of helping with when someone comes into our medical facility to help what facilitates those who are aging. The one thing that I've noticed with people who are aging, isolation, nutrition, and some support. People can live within their home if they have those support. The Alcona Council on Aging has been designed to address those needs. And I am grateful that I've had an opportunity through my association as an occupational therapist to service the people in this county. There are other issues that people in this county need, and there are other organizations who do a very good job of addressing those needs. I service these clients, and the Alcona County Commission on Aging has been a blessing to many of those people who would be isolated, who would not have a nutritious meal, who would not have support to be in their home. A lot of the medical provider insurance will only help with certain situations for a short period of time, and that's even including Medicaid. There are a lot of things that I see from my professional perspective and question and ask, can you get input for those who service the seniors? Because this is, believe it or not, Alcona County has been identified as one of the oldest aged population in the county. I see it says Alcona County Commission on Aging. And that's what I want to see this organization to continue to provide those services, because my patients are deeply grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Patty Thomas, Harrisville Township. I would like to repeat Will St. John's statement from the meeting that happened on December 6th. The grant was given for the purpose of a multi-generational opportunity for the citizens of Alcona County. You can want whatever you want, but the money is for a specific thing that the grant was written for, and anything else is gonna go back to the state legislature. And if you think we'll ever get another bonus of money coming into this county,
Point of order, please. Can you hold 1 second?
Public comment is only one time per person, is that correct or not?
That's correct, I'm sorry, my mistake. I think
Sorry.
we've already spoken once.
No, but, I mean, you can yield your time to somebody.
I've said what Will said. Thank you.
Someone said the other day, this isn't the legislature, so. Any other comments, please?
Phil Fogg from Harrisville. When I first started attending these meetings, I had heard through the county, through the area, that we were looking at a new senior center, and that our director, Mr. Avery, was very substantially involved. And then all of a sudden, this senior center that supposedly got $12.5 million to build turned into a community center, 30,000 square feet, rooms, apartments, I don't know where it came from. But what I've been seeing, and I might be off base and I'll probably get a little bit of flack, which don't bother me, and all of a sudden, he attended a very weak board. And when I was looking at this board, when I first started attending, if you remember back in, I believe, November, I asked this board, does he work for you or do you work for him? At the time, it was looking like you were working for him, because it was a very weak board. And some of you board members on that board was all in favor of a senior center. And then I believe, like, I'll use an example of selling a car to a 90-year-old woman, my grandma. If I sold that car to her and I told her, you need that car, she is financially set, I get the money, is it her fault for buying my car? Or is it my fault for selling a 90-year-old woman a car? Now all of a sudden this board has gotten a little stronger. They did a lot of research. I don't know about all you guys that's on here. I don't know, hey, like I said, I don't know about all you folks, but stop, please. I don't know about all you folks, but I call it elderly abuse, okay? So, and I have been friends.
Time is 10 seconds, sir.
I have been friends with everybody in here, and now all I see is separation from neighbors and friends. Everybody's starting to separate, and they need to come back together so we can have one thing, a senior center.
Amen. Thank you, please. Thank you. In the back, sir.
John Slicker, Guston Township. And I could almost repeat verbatim what Mr. Potter stated. The board here and the employees and staff, the community, the taxpayers of this county want a senior center. And must I say again, a senior center. And when it was brought to the board that was seemingly ran by Mr. Avery for 2 years, and surveys were put out to the children in the school and not the seniors of the county, we end up here. And it has created huge divide between people here that I would consider my friends, and I still do. This is not a political issue, and it's not a bias issue. It's a selfish, egotistical individual thinking that they can control the entire organization. And it's wrong, and I bless the heart of the integrity of a few strong individuals that are here today to keep this thing going, and that kept it going yesterday. And as far as any comments about Mrs. Pam Ashford, she could have been here today. She knew she's the one that walked out. So bless your heart to this board, and I yield the rest of my time.
I preface this saying I was not gonna say anything, but in my opinion, what? Can you hear me? My name's Jerry Merrick. I live in Hoss Township. Usually people can hear me because I'm accused of having a loud voice, and I don't need an amplifier. In my opinion, all of this in this room started because the board, and I don't add the executive director because he was not really the one that should have been in charge of this. I'm looking at the way the board was structured. They went after money with no plan. There was no plan, what size of building, what was requested by the building, what kind of services they were expecting the building. None of this stuff. They didn't know what size property they were going to need. They didn't know about any. You can point, but I'm just saying, I'm talking to them, but I want everybody to hear this. There was no plan. All there was I'm gonna go back in, I'm paraphrasing here, I'm gonna go to the state, and I'm gonna see how much money I can get for a senior center. And what happened? We know now with the evidence that they were not, the state was not interested in a senior center. Right. They were interested in some grand apartment or housing project. If they would not give us the money for a senior center, only if we went into this whole great big project, right? Yeah. But there was no plan. Nobody knew what the hell they were gonna build.
10
now,
seconds,
if
sir.
this would done properly, if this would have been done properly, the planning for the building with community, with the total community input, if they would have been done and come up with the size and what they're gonna need, they would have known how much property, they would have known how much money they would have needed, and they didn't do it. And we got this.
Yes, ma'am.
Abby Thomas, Harrisville Township. I'd like to yield my time.
Ma'am, have you spoken before?
Can't do that.
Can't hear ya.
Abby Thomas, Harrisville Township.
Ma'am, have you spoken before?
No,
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to yield my time to Mr. Avery.
We don't yield, ma'am, this is not the legislature.
You did it for like the last 4 board meetings.
You told us last time we couldn't do it.
Stop your lying, for Christ's sake.
Have order, please.
Point of order, I just have a question. You did it consecutively for 4 months. Why all of a sudden you change it now?
Because you said last month we couldn't.
Because it's me.
Are there any other comments?
I'd like to take my 2 minutes.
Spoken. Okay, any other spoken?
Hi, Jenny Stanzik, Spruce, Michigan. This is just so incredibly sad. As a new resident, as a soon-to-be senior, from what I've seen. Again, I see passion for everybody, right? And I get that, and that's important. Over the last few weeks, though, I would have asked you to take that passion and do some real research, and I'm sorry, that's the teacher in me. I've looked over so much information, and so many of the things that people bring up, they've been answered. And this is confusing. I am sure that when a lot of people signed up for this board, they didn't think they'd be looking at anything of this magnitude, a grant of this size. I had to take classes in college to understand those, and I still don't completely. But the questions have been answered. And it breaks my heart. You know, I get why you're up there, but you know, what takes real strength is to admit when you're wrong. And that's from everybody. And say, you know what, maybe it is time to step down, bring new people in, teach them how to run, because nobody's ever done that for you, how to run these meetings and how to have conflict management, and move forward with this. It's a community made up of a lot of seniors. Okay, so you have a senior center, but it's part of the community. You have housing for your seniors.
Have 10 seconds, ma'am.
You know, thank you very much. I hope somebody has the courage to do the right thing.
You're welcome. Thank you. Others?
Judy McNeil, Harrisville, Michigan. I agree with Phil Potter. We are friends, family, neighbors. We've spent a lot of time together in so many different ways. It is sad to see what's happening in this division with this community. The confusion I find is that, from what I understand, and you guys are welcome to correct me if I'm wrong or get on Facebook and tell me I'm wrong, but my understanding is that that $12.5 million, which was obtained by a lot of hard work by Lenny Avery, not the board, but Lenny Avery, that money was procured because we showed a need for a lot of things. And if we had just gone for senior housing, or excuse me, senior center, we would have not gotten that amount of money. If I'm wrong on that, come on and stab me in the back or whatever. But right now, that is my understanding. I understand it, I applaud going in a creative way to obtain money for ACCOA County, which would have never seen this kind of a windfall if somebody hadn't done it and had the vision. So thank you, Lenny. Yes. Thank you, the board, for having the resolve to continue through this. So I do appreciate, I apologize the other day, I know I was a little hot under the collar, but let's all work together. This is so very, very important for all of us, for not only our seniors, but the people that are coming up to be a senior. I unfortunately I think I'm a senior now. Yes, I'll benefit from this, but I'd like to see everybody else benefit from it.
Any other? Okay. Comments are closed.
Actually, we have one more.
Do we have another? Oh, Carolyn, I'm sorry.
Good afternoon, all. I just would like to walk down a different path. As a senior, I'm very grateful that I made it this far. And I'm very grateful for those who are seniors around me, including these board members. Someone made the comment about they stepped up to the plate. They did. Nobody's really sure what's on that plate right now. But I do thank the good Lord for all of you, for your friends, for your neighbors, and a special reach out of prayer for Mike Paturn. Regardless of how you thought he was doing, he's still, as a senior, he's one of our seniors, and amen.
Amen.
Quite a few years ago now, about at least 6 years ago, my wife was still alive. And we rented this upstairs out for an anniversary, party. It was a surprise party. I knew about it. My son's wanting to rent this out for a whole year without me telling her. And on our anniversary, we was gonna go someplace for dinner. I made an excuse for her to come up here because I needed to see something. She pulled in out in front here and she looked around, what are all these people doing here? Then she realized that it was her brothers and sisters. And now, if I was to have an anniversary, wedding anniversary, or any other kind of party, I'd go someplace else and spend my money there, instead of coming to this. I understand what Mr. Avery is trying to do, but, because of all this stuff that's in here now, I'd go someplace else to, have any kind of party.
Why is that?
Yes, why?
Because of all this, stuff.
The fitness equipment, there's no room for us talking about the fitness equipment.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I would make a motion to adjourn.
Yes,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
That's it. Meeting's adjourned. Everybody's heading on home.